So what's really going on with this low G? I've done other videos on here with the low G. I'm watching this because I can see here that my tenor needs some glue down here. But it's holding, it's not moving, but it needs glue down here. I can tell that it needs glue down here. Yeah, it's gonna need some glue. And I think, yeah, it just needs some glue, that's all. I'm gonna have to loosen the strings and add some glue. But the beauty of the low G is this. You can do things on the tenor that you can do on the baritone, like the F formation, walk down, that is like a #1 thing on the guitar, like this. Here's your low G. And that is what makes the low G so unique, because you can do runs like that like you do on the guitar and the baritone ukulele. Now, this is the problem with that though, is the tuning, because not too many of us play in B flat. So here this would be a F on the guitar or the baritone. This would be a F, but here it's a B flat. Nobody plays hardly in B flat. And this on the guitar, this here is a I think this is a I forget what chord this is. Is this a D? Hold on a second, I gotta look at the book. 1 second. Let me get the book. I'm sure it's not an A minor. I think it's a D minor. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a D minor. It would have to be a D minor. Let me see here. D minor. Yeah. This A minor. This A minor becomes a D minor. This is a D minor here. Let me show you what that sounds like in a regular high G. Here's my concert that I'm going to give to my grandbaby. It tends to stay in tuning, so see, it doesn't sound as warm. Still sound. it sounds more plucky and it doesn't sound as warm. Still sounds nice. I can use that. I can use that somewhere, but it doesn't sound as plucky and as nice. Now here, see how warm? That's guns blazing right there. But the problem with that again is the fact that this on the guitar is A minor and this is F. Your formation, your F formation is an F. You're playing A minor on the guitar or the baritone. You're playing A minor, F. Let me do it on here. It sounds more close to it. But these are the same tuning. Understand that. It's G, C, E, A. So A minor on the guitar or the baritone, you're playing A minor, F, and G. A minor, F, and G. But this is actually on the tenor, concert, and soprano. This is actually a D minor, a B flat, and a C. A D minor, a B flat, and a C. And so that's why, and those are keys, and this is where the baritone comes in. Those are keys that we don't usually play in. So when you want to do a run like that and you want it to sound real bassy like that, it's going to take you, first of all, low G. But it's also going to take you, depending on what key that you normally sing in or what key you normally play backup to, it's going to take you to play a baritone even, because again, there's a fine line between B flat, even though the formation is the same. There's a fine line between the B flat and the F. Playing A minor, F, and G is a lot more common than playing B flat. Is a lot more common than playing D minor, B flat, and C. Okay? Now let me show you why the baritone is more of a, hopefully I'm still in tune. Now the baritone this here is A minor. A minor. Okay, so that is why I love the low G on the tenor, because I can do runs like that. Even though I'm in a different key, I can make my A minor or D minor key sound like my A minor key by doing a run like that. That is one of the reasons why I love the low G on the tenor. I can do more worshipful, more powerful styles of, I can do more popular tunes. I can mix popular sound in with ukulele genre on the tenor. But again, before you do anything, you need to understand your keys. Okay? You need to understand your keys. You need to understand your keys. And this is nice. This is nice. See the difference? So that's all I wanted to share with you. The low G is amazing, but the baritone, is amazing. And as you can see, that F and that A minor is different than that D minor, and that, and it's deeper because it's in guitar tuning, but it sounds nice because of the low G on the tenor. So, I encourage everyone to have a ukulele that has a low G, but before you put a low G on your tenor or your concert or I don't think you can put one on a soprano. Quote me, I don't know. But before you put a low G on your tenor or concert, know your key. Know what key you play your ukulele in and how that affects the songs that you normally play on your tenor or concert. Because if this high G is like the source of what makes your song sound beautiful, then you don't want to mess with it. And I can think of different things. I can think of different things that I can do with that high G, as well as the low G. So, but it's up to you. I prefer the low G because I play music that I play on my guitar and my baritone. I also play that on the tenor, and I also love the way the low G handles chords and range, okay, even in playing ukulele songs. And when I'm playing something on the tenor with this low G, to me, it still sounds like your typical ukulele, but only has a warmer sound. The low G gives the ukulele a warmer sound. Now, if I play the same thing on here, now that does sound a little bit more Hawaiian to me with the high G. That does sound a little bit more Hawaiian to me with that low G. I mean with that high G. That's high G. So it all depends whether you want the more classic sound. I think the high G is the more classic ukulele sound. You know, this is a totally different key. it sounds on all three of these. But the low G gives your tenor or concert, especially your tenor, a more warmer tone to where you can play. You can, depending on what chords you're playing and what kind of song you're playing, you give it a more popular sound in between popularity and ukulele genre, whereas the high G is more classic. It gives your ukulele that more classic ukulele sound. And if you listen to people like Aldrine and Jake Shimbakuro talk about the high G, they'll tell you that they love to stick with the high G because it gives them it keeps them in the classic vein of the ukulele genre. That high G is, to them, is what makes a ukulele a ukulele. To me, when I'm playing certain songs, I like to hear that low range, because you know what I'm saying. And the beauty of the tenor is, okay, listen, with the low G, okay, but as you can see that the mellow strings are still very high. They don't move. They're where they've always been. But here it sounds more linear, in my opinion. So, I don't think the low G takes away the ukulele. It just makes it more deeper. It gives it a deeper tone. It's only one string that you're changing. It gives it a deeper tone, and a more warmer tone. And just like the baritone, you can blaze guns. I call it gun blazing. You can blaze guns like that on those low strings, whereas that's a totally different sound. There's no gun blazing there. There's classicness there, but there's no guns blazing, So there you have it. Thank you for watching, and I will be doing more videos on this channel. Thank you.